Welcome back to the LEC, and ahead of Team BDS versus Astralis. Well, we've kind of talking about two surprise teams of the year so far. It's just Astralis, they've kind of gone back to what we've expected of them.
The Neeko was a surprise. We'll give them that.
Yeah.
Surprise! We picked Neeko. Yeah, no, they had they tried Annie, they tried Neeko. Nothing really worked in the mid lane. It felt like, well, as much as it didn't work, I think like it's a team thing as well. But Astralis have definitely like come out of the gates. What's the opposite of swinging? They fell over?
Swinging, staying still.
Staying still.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Sitting there, hanging there on a swing set. I don't know.
But is the reason they're struggling just because they're not quite au fait with the current meta? Even though they have such a great bot lane duo.
I mean, they definitely have a strong bot lane, of course, with Kobbe, but I don't know. I feel like the champion pool right now for leader, like what's meta in the mid lane, it sort of puts him on things like the Annie, like the Neeko, which are not like his bread and butter. He can play them, but they're not the flashy ones that he's going to 1v9 a game with.
Frankie's got a game ready.
I had a feeling that you guys would say that. And so I thought we would play What the Meta?
What the meta?
What the
Our
meta?
first subject
Well, tell me about the
leader.
bees.
Okay, so this is the Happy,
Happy.
and this is the Sabi.
The Sabi.
That work?
Okay.
So that's,
Happy,
that works.
so that's like yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
exactly.
Okay, let's rock
But
it,
don't
let's
call
rock
them that, otherwise it won't count. So we're going to bring up some of Leader's best known champions
From
on
like
the screen.
past, right? We're, like,
Exactly,
going
the
deep.
ones he's known for, his signature champions. And basically you have to say whether they'll work in this meta or not work in this meta. Happy, Sabi. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Akali.
Akali.
A classic.
Akali.
I mean,
Playable?
I'm personally an Akali enthusiast. I like the ability to dive on the stupid AD carries that are running over the meta right now and shut them down within a team fight that I feel like some of the champions, like we saw Neeko yesterday, not be able to do as soon as there's like counter flashes to escape and stuff like this. It's hard to outrun an Akali. She can just keep sort of going at you. So I'm kind of on board with the Akali.
Xayah played Akali in the LCK. I mean, he won Worlds playing Akali basically, right? And he played it this year. I think he's the only one to play it so far, but he won. He didn't do so well. I think the champ is definitely playable. I think like, especially against double AP mid jungle, you get like Merc treads. I think this champ has good kill potential on these hyper carry ADs. So I would say happy. Happy.
Yeah, happy.
Yeah, playable.
Is that the right thing for Astralis right now, though?
It's the right thing for leader. So I guess it's the right thing for Astralis.
Happy.
Happy.
Oh,
All
nice.
right, nicely
Smile.
done.
Okay, so maybe we'll get leader. Maybe we'll get leader Akali. What else you got?
Okay.
What else you got for us?
What else we got? Let's see.
I like how you're pressing these
I
buttons.
hit the next us.
Irelia.
It's like
Irelia.
a time machine to like 2018.
Oh, bring me back to the IG years.
Oh, good times.
No, so yeah, Irelia. I think Irelia's playable. I think happy. I think if they have double AP mid jungle, Merc treads, Wits End, the new Triforce could be good on her. Blade.
Yeah, okay. The items I hear you on, but I just because I played this in spring, I believe, and just got like hard camped.
Wait, you
in
played
mid
it?
lane. No,
Oh, he played it.
I don't play Irelia. Like,
It was banned. It was banned against Astralis day one.
It was banned against.
So people
him.
are taking this seriously.
But I feel like it's one of those champions in mid lane, counter like Akali that has a little bit more like range she can play with to like farm, at least with her Q and disengage potential. I feel like this puts a real target on his back, and he's just going to get, you know, ground out with repeat ganks in the mid lane. So I'm not fully on.
I'm saying happy, he's saying Sabi, so I think it's
It's
up
a
to you.
difficult one. What about if it needs to get flexed up to Finn? Because
Yeah,
he
Finn
also
plays it.
Aurelia.
He's a one-trick Irelia as well, so I mean, you can flex it.
I can give you
is
the
that a
happy
selling
with the
point?
flex.
Is that a selling point?
It's not a tank though.
But it does good damage.
If there's a Gnar on the top
When in doubt,
side, you flip clap that.
when in doubt, get more damage.
All right, I'm just thinking about the top meta at the moment, but I'm gonna say happy.
Gnar is oh nice. Gnar is a nice blind
Yeah,
pick, though. Leader could flex it up to top for Finn.
There you go.
I'll
Okay,
take it.
happy.
What else we got?
We'll see.
All right.
I know how
Surely
Gumball
it'll work,
feels
right?
right now.
You got
Try it
this.
out. All right, do it again. Oh, a big
what
slap.
the hell?
Okay, give it another one.
Sylas.
That haymaker.
See, Sylas was meta when things like Sejuani, Maokai, Nautilus, you could just take away their ultimates and you like have such a good team fight. And it was decent into Ahri at times. I believe it was picked into her. But I don't know, those junglers have fallen out of the meta. It's more like range supports now, I guess.
The range supports definitely hurts with the ults you can steal. But like top laners, like when Malphite's there, it's always a Sylas angle.
Malphite does unlock Sylas a lot.
Gragas jungle is going to be a
I'm
good
gonna
You're
have to
selling
hurry
me
you up.
happy. I'm
Happy?
down, yeah.
Yeah.
Sylas playable.
I don't think it's necessarily an
for you
always.
guys.
It's not an always pick, but like if you see some good ults on the other side, like I think you can definitely go for it.
No.
Yeah.
That's I don't think Zed's playable at all. Even with the lethality changes, loses lane, so one-dimensional, easy to outplay.
Also, like, all the mid lane champ, like, Zed, he presses R, and he's like, all right, in 1 second, guess where I'm going to be? And Neeko's like, I can ult, and he can stun. Like, it's too easy.
Yeah, I felt like Leader tried to make Zed happen last split, and it didn't.
I guess Rise could kind of work if you go static shift, and then, like, you realm warp because it's units traveled, and then, like, you push bot wave, realm warp. No, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I just feel like, again, like, Rise has to be pretty in your face to do damage. He's like a mid-range mage, right? And with like Neeko ult, Annie, they're also mid-range, but like have heavy CC attached, so you're just going to get hit by those abilities, chain CC'd, and in a lot of trouble.
He's too short range. I think Rise won't work.
Bot laner's going to be outranging him for sure.
1 CC is dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sad B.
Sad B. Wah wah.
All right.
Where's the... I feel like I know what's coming next. Yeah, I thought something like that was coming. I think Yasuo is probably... I saw people playing Gale Force Yasuo. The shield bow changes hurts Yasuo a lot because obviously you don't have the shield anymore, right?
Yeah,
and
but there were builds in the past like BT or Blade rushes, yeah?
BT doesn't give a shield either, but then IE is like a mythic, so IE is kind of like a terrible item right now, so you can't get that on Yasuo. I feel like Gale Force is probably playable. I think with Gragas jungle as well, it could be cooked.
I like the idea of having like Gale Force and giving him an option to fight like away from minion waves, because that's been like a problem in the past. You just can't really like close the gap, but between like Gragas jungle, things to pair with it, and a Gale Force, I'm on board.
And also, Flex pick, Finn has not played it in competitive, but I did speak to him outside the bathrooms. Don't ask me why I was there.
Okay.
And he said that he does play it casually, so don't count him out from flexing it in the future. But
also,
we are going to say
versus these AD carries, give me that. Don't let them have fun.
All right. Abby, finally, I think this is our last option for leader.
Give it the haymaker again.
That makes it work. Oh, Yone. Oh,
is it an option? That's the question.
I think Yone
is it really an option?
Oh, I think Yone is no shield bow, no BT. I feel like you go in and you get one shot. I'm sure like Nemesis has probably found a build on Yone because he's great Yone, but I'm not sure in competitive it's that good. I haven't really checked many Yone builds, but I'm gonna go no.
I feel like since the item updates, I'm not completely confident.
You're not confident at all?
No.
Sabby.
But Sabby.
I'm making the call.
I feel like, again, you're just jumping in and getting chain CC'd.
So Leader seems like he's got a few champions that he can play, though.
Yeah.
I feel like the problem Leader has is all these champions are playable, but Neeko, Ahri, Annie are just so S tier that if these champs are open, you have to play them. So it's 4-3? 4-3? Yeah. Is Leader's champ pool a problem? Probably not.
Probably not. Also, the thing that was interesting yesterday was Heretics, they were not expecting him to pick Neeko, so maybe Leader's got some secrets up his sleeve, because I think when he's playing solo queue, he's got a hidden account.
He always has
stuff we do
Every
not know.
Leader is the hidden account CEO. Every account is hidden, no matter what. So maybe he's cooking something.
Basically, if you're BDS, ban everything in the mid lane and see how you get on. So let's actually find out how Astralis' opponents prepared for this one.
That's potential right there.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
That's a high note, hard to hit. I'm impressed.
I mean, I could tell.
Yeah, it's
was a bit of a challenge there
perfect,
for Nuke.
You know what I mean, Medic? Yeah. We all start somewhere, and as Nuke demonstrated, he was starting at the floor.
At the bottom, like BDS did when they joined the league.
Yeah, but now they find themselves one-on-one, obviously considered favorites coming into this matchup. We're still looking to see a little bit more consistency. They themselves have talked about how they're trying to evolve in terms of their options. Part of me feels that they don't need to overcomplicate it, though. They already had a winning formula. I think they can go back to that winning ways. Like, there's no harm in necessarily winning through a defined style. Sometimes I think teams sabotage themselves trying to be the best at everything. But we'll see what they've prepared for us today as we get ready for our draft of BDS versus Astralis.
Let's dive into it. BDS on the blue side, Astralis on the red. And
these Aurelia bans continue to come through. The respect being shown. Lucian going to be taken off the board from Astralis. LeBlanc as well. Guys, I don't think Yumi's going to get banned.
Who knows? Maybe Go-To-One and Striker will hear this and be like, oh, actually, I forgot about Yumi.
They're not going to ban it.
It's like Daenerys in the Iron Fleet. Just forgot about it.
Whoopsie. I was just about to say Maokai is likely what's going to be banned. And then that means Astralis is going to ban Aphelios, or they're going to ban... Oh, Neeko, yeah, it's probably Neeko.
It's Neeko, then Aphelios first pick, and then Milio into Yuumi, and it's...
Or it won't be, it'll be Xayah on the other side.
Oh, Xayah, yeah. Yep. Well, you could go Xayah. Do you go Xayah Yuumi, or do you go Xayah Milio if Aphelios?
It's a great question. I don't know.
I think Yuumi is probably slightly stronger. Xayah has too much range.
Neeko.
We dealt with. Neeko, a possibility here.
Neeko.
Neeko.
I don't think... Here's what I will say. Nukes... Neeko did not impress me as much as Caps did.
But that's because Caps turned into a bunch of stuff and made flashy plays.
No, but I mean in terms of lane...
won their game.
Yeah, but he chose to run Spellbook instead of Comet,
yeah.
which meant that his lane presence was just much weaker. And then also, sure, he wasn't as creative as Caps was, which, like, I mean, that ended up being
It's
Caps' downfall.
It's more fun to watch creative, though.
But, yeah, I will be keeping my eyes on it because this does feel like Astralis is saying, you know, we watched his game yesterday and we actually aren't that afraid of his Neeko. We probably have something prepared that can deal with it. Xayah being locked in for Kobbe, one of his go-to champions, something that he is incredibly confident on. Are they gonna lock in a Yuumi or a Milio for themselves?
I think if you have Xayah, you kind of want the Rakan. Like, Rakan is just so super powerful when you team up with the Xayah. You give yourself so much more mobility, and it's much easier to get into fights.
Milio
Looks like they'll...
Aphelios?
Yeah, Milio Aphelios is the likely pick here for BDS. So then this is probably Rakan for Astralis.
Or Blitz. I was just about to say, by locking in Sejuani, they're likely going to be locking in Renekton looks prevalent, or high possibility. And then we're looking at potentially something like a Silas or a mid lane, something melee for leader. But I'd be surprised if they... Oh, they're going to lock it in right now. There's the Yasuo. They talked about it on the desk as a potential. Will we see the Gale Force Yasuo? But bold move to lock it in this early.
Vedi, quickly. Look up Yasuo's AP scalings. Static Shiv Yasuo. The guy dashes everywhere, Vedi. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, but you can still build Static Shiv on non-AP champions.
No, because it scales off AP.
No, the Energize scales.
Yeah, the extra damage.
But, like, it's still an AD item.
Why would I want crit and attack speed on an AD champ, Vedi?
So the problem with locking in Yasuo here is, as BDS is showing, you can ban away the Yuumi, you can ban away Rakan, you can ban away Nautilus, you can ban away Blitzcrank, you can
However, you can't ban all four.
No, you can't.
Only get to pick two of those.
But they
Rakan
probably...
is their first option.
Astralis is not going to pick Yuumi at this point, I don't think. So I think that BDS should actually consider banning away either a Blitz or a Nautilus. Maybe Nautilus is scarier because there's a synergy with Yasuo.
I agree, but I think because of Milio's ability to knock the Nautilus out of his Q,
true.
I think maybe Blitz is slightly scarier in terms of at least the 1v1 and the 2v2 at the bottom.
Because he's considered more of a direct counter into the Milio, right?
Yeah. Because you can just hook the Milio. Instead, Kennen, the ban, getting rid of some of that AoE.
Why?
It's something we've seen heavily nerfed coming into this patch. And it still seems to be worthy of a ban from Team BDS. I guess the argument is if Neeko goes in, you want to be able to have the rest of your team following up. And if Kennen's ulting, it becomes a little trickier to do that. There's the Blitzcrank. Good call on that, Vedi.
So this means that BDS is looking for jungle and they're looking for top. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but there's this champ called Cassante who like shows up in every game. He's really strong, very good at both tanking and murdering. Option.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but there's this champion called Olaf, and he can immune all of the CC that comes out of Astralis. Instead, it looks like Renekton might be where BDS go for the top lane.
Are they just denying this from Astralis, maybe? We talked about how that would be a strong top side, especially for Finn. The Gragas being locked in jungle, this does look like. I guess that they just want a little bit more disengage. Oh, I guess they're also concerned about a potential Gragas. Have they just locked these in because they were like, one of these two is likely going to go top and we had to ban away support, so now we're just going to deny these from you? Because I feel like that this Gragas is a bit weird in this comp.
It's kind of a disengage. If the Yasuo goes in, you can just ult, but...
Rumble.
The Rumble top gives you
I just
AP.
heard a fan go, was that a cheer? Are you upset about the Rumble? I mean...
Maybe they had, a bet with their friend. If Rumble gets locked in today, I'll do 20 push-ups or something.
Well, I think that Rumble can be fine into the Renekton matchup. I very much believe in Finn's ability to play that 1v1. But kind of looking at BDS's comp, the thing that concerns me about the Gragas is that, like, yes, you have a lot of tools to kind of split Astralis up, and and I guess that he can be annoying for a Yasuo to play into, but in terms of your engage, like I guess I always consider Gragas as having more like disruption, pick potential, maybe re-engage tools, but that's kind of it. Outside of that, I guess the Neeko flank is a potential. Neeko, Protobell into Ultima is also a way that you can start off fights, but then you're very much relying on fighting around these neutrals, whereas I think Astralis have, I guess, an easier time when it comes to forcing these fights, whether it be finding a hook with the Blitzcrank, forcing an engage with the Sejuani. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's not as complicated as I interpret it to be. Still though, a different take on the meta from Astralis. Something fresh to spicing up the games. Right now they find themselves at 0-2. Let's see what they can do as we get ready for the Rift.
I will say the Rumble and kind of the Cannon ban makes a little bit of sense when you think about the damage profile of Astralis. If you wanted an AP top, Cannon is kind of where your first eye would go. And then Rumble follows that up, so you do have a bit of magic damage for Astralis with Finn running that. Arcane Comet and Ignite in the top lane for him. Nuke going Summon Airy in the mid lane. More sustained damage than a Comet that can be dashed away by the Yasuo. Not the spellbook that we saw yesterday.
A little bit more lane presence. I still think I prefer Comet over Airy, but still, I guess the idea is just poke, poke, poke. Neeko can be super oppressive into melee matchups, mainly because of the 3-hit passive on a W. It's back when, I mean, G2 were the most famous for it, where they used to play it top lane, the on-hit Neeko. But many teams around the world, of course, did play it. But it was just very good into a lot of melee matchups because of the amount of harassment. Now, I'm not saying that Nuke will go for an on-hit build, but right now, they have snuck around behind 1-1-3. He has been spotted.
He's got no Q. He'll burn the flash early on to escape. Sheo smites the Razor Beaks as well to make sure he secures it. 1-1-3 tries to trade in. Does get a couple of the minions. Means that Sheo doesn't hit level 2. And now Leader trading with Nuke. Tangle Barbs. Fuck you, 3 knock up here. And Adam's just like, mate, you don't get to bully my mid laner like that.
But this is such a colossal waste of time for Adam. Like, Leader's spacing very well. Adam is just trying to get as much damage down, but like, Leader's winning out on these trades.
He's just beating them both in a 2v1. Leader's winning it, dashes forward, hits 2 of the minions, hasn't killed one, but almost kills Adam and Nuke.
Colossal mistake from Adam. Hook, connects.
Pulled back, the level 2 hit for JeongHoon as well, which means he gets the knock-up. Flash and heal used there. Above able to get to safety, but 2 summoners burnt in exchange for a Ghost and an Ignite from the Astralis bot lane. Now Adam TP's in, 0 minions, 2.5 minutes in. And Finn was slow stacking the wave. Just gonna burn through Adam a little bit with that Flame Spitter. Doran Shield on Adam means that he will regenerate some of that health, but not gonna be a fun laning phase for him anymore.
But it's the reason why this is such a big deal for Leader is that even having a slight level advantage when you're already in a difficult matchup makes such a big difference. Levels in the early game, because of the raw stats that they give you, just make the laning phase that much easier. And you look at the wave state right now, this is perfect for Leader. This wave is going to be slowly pushing underneath his tower. He can set up a nice freeze. Nuke still, of course, has the flash available, but alongside 1-1-3, this is the lane that they can very easily attack. So Leader, after punishing the invade from BDS, sets his wave up nicely. Now Sheo gonna come mid to try and push this wave underneath the tower. Astralis attack Adam in top lane.
Adam has flash, doesn't really have anywhere else to go. Flash is up, 1-1-3 tanks the tower perfectly. Astralis with burst blood in the top lane. Sheo's gonna try and cut them off. You can see Nuke on his way across here as well. 1-1-3 still no flash, remember, from the level 1 play.
Nuke, oh, but Nuke is now wasting. I mean, he's likely going to catch this wave himself. They have flashes available.
1-1-3's out. Nuke flashes for it. Tangle Barbs, not enough, and now Nuke will fall. It's all gone to pieces. Sheo getting chased away, still has a flash. Will have to use it. And Astralis just counting their lucky stars that BDS are trying to make so much happen. Hook lands in the bottom lane. Crownie, his back was stopped, but in the end, it will not really matter too much.
It is a comedy of errors, Medic, like a catastrophe for BDS. This is a great dive from Astralis. Because Adam was delayed to lane, doesn't have the TP, they punish him on the dive. They tank the tower well, the meme emote comes out from 113 to add insult to injury, and then BDS are trying to get something back. Maybe we can get double buffs here. But you can see the passive is still on for 113, so the flash in from Nuke, like the damage just isn't quite enough. So he's able to walk out from the third proc, and then Finn can instantly turn around, commits his flash as well to trying to get another kill. The flash comes through from Sheo, and Finn decides not to overcommit. The Renekton then moves into the mid lane. So what does the why have I forgotten his name? What does Leader do? He goes to top lane. TP's there, which means that he can keep this matchup up. And now you look at the gold. 1,000 is the gold advantage for Finn over Adam. 300 is the lead for Leader. They're both a full level up over their lane counterpart, and BDS, an atrocious early game. It started off with a really positive invade, punishing what seemed like they know that 113 does this. You know, they've tracked it, they've prepped it. This is how they were going to punish him in the early game. But then how they followed up on that,
diabolical.
Diabolical is the correct word. We'll see if they can bounce back, because right now Astralis is in the driver's seat. Bot lane is still going very even for both sides. Of course, Summoner Spells burn for Labrov from that earlier level, 2 exchange it was? Oh wow, action-packed already. Leader down level 6.
Leader 6 has got knock-up here. Nuke has no flash, remember. You go for it, last breath. Under the tower, Nuke's just gonna fall. Leader still has the flash to get away. Sheo coming in, trying to find something. Some small semblance of victory for BDS.
He can kill Sheo.
Yeah, and so can Finn.
Oh, they all know.
Oh, Sheo. Oh, Sheo. That's not where you want to be. JeongHoon here. Sheo tries to get away. Knocked up, locked up, but 113 will secure it. It is an absolutely monumental start for Astralis, and BDS have been left to the wayside.
And we talked about how levels are so important.
Not going to get to this tower, Vedi.
Leader getting level 6 first, allowing him to go for that all-in. No flash on Nuke, allowed him to get the solo kill. He's got a 20 CS lead. He has a full 2 levels up over his mid lane counterpart. And you can see how hesitant he is to walk into lane. They know that that side of the jungle doesn't belong to them. 2 plates secured for Leader. This is a 2.5k gold lead, 6.5 minutes in. We'll look back at the 1v1 from Leader's perspective. He stacks up the passive, knows he has the level advantage. Normally, when you get the knock-up, it tries to bring you away from the turret, so I was a little surprised to see him actually on this side of the Neeko. But either way, he flashes away to safety. And he secures himself a kill, and then afterwards, of course, they do get that punish onto Sheo. Adam going to drop that ward. He will be getting level 6 very soon. We'll keep highlighting it, but thanks to our overlay, you can see that little pink bar next to the champions icons. Does indicate, and also every time they do tick over a level, our overlay will indicate it for you. Medic just highlighting it for you now on your screen. Crownie about halfway to level 6, that little pink bar. Ultimate once again from Leader.
Pop Blossom coming out from Nuke. Labrov and Sheo are in the right position to collapse on this. Leader trying to dash away, uses Labrov as a bit of an escape, but in the end, Labrov will be able to secure that. Not the kill you really want, not the player you really want the kill to go over to, and because of Labrov's movement, they're going to lose plates in the bottom lane. 113 here, once again to dive Adam. Equalizer comes out, Adam able to dodge away from it. 113 tanking the tower for now, and Finn secures it. Astralis just ripping through BDS right now. 113 and Sheo will meet. 113 flashes to make sure that he gets to safety. Labrov holds back, locked up. The root's going to come in as well, and even though he has the flash, the ignite is ticking. Feathers fly, Labrov dodges away. Now Crownie steps forward with the shurikens. JeongHoon going to be the first to fall. Kobbe doesn't really have an escape anymore, but Crownie flashes into the root. Thought he was dodging the feathers, but he can't get away from that, and he'll be plucking, disappointed in himself that he couldn't escape those feathers.
So much to break down. Clever little wordplay there, Medic, but Kobbe threw down the ultimate, and Crownie just kind of, I don't want to say that he forgot about them, but I guess that he thought that the flash to the side, thought that he would be able to sidestep it. So keep track of Kobbe's ultimate here. Good hook. Kobbe uses his E very early in this fight to root up Labrov to give enough time to be able to get that kill. The shield and flash away is enough, and then it's these feathers that he thinks that he's going to be able to flash away from. So they stay up in the fight. Because Kobbe used E so early on, the cooldown's going to come back up. He expects the feathers to come back, but he doesn't quite flash it away. Yeah, he's trying to flash, but like you can very clearly see that he's very aware of them. He's trying to dodge them, but wasn't quite, not enough space was created, which means that he ends up getting caught up and Kobbe gets a trade back. Good damage though from Crownie. Really the shining light right now for BDS as things are falling apart for them on the top side of the map. 1.5k gold lead for Finn, 1.1k for Leader. As Astralis continue to extend this lead, 3,000 now, the difference.
BDS investing 5 players down towards this bottom side of the map. Only Nuke in mid right now, but he can move here relatively quickly. The Dragon up in 50 seconds. Looks like it's just for Crownie and Labrov to get this push in. TP up from Adam towards the top lane. Kind of also sacrifices a play towards the Dragon, although Finn running the Ignite means that he wouldn't be able to TP down if a Dragon fight did begin. Still a 3,000 gold lead for Astralis. Kraken Slayer complete for Kobbe.
JeongHoon going wide there.
Yep.
Does commit the flash, but of course that's what Blitzcranks want because they want Hex Flash. It's always the dream.
I mean, I will say, I'll take a flash over a Hex Flash as a Blitzcrank.
Well, then you're a bad support, medic. Sorry. Thanks to break it to you. Hex Flash is superior.
So I should just burn it out of base at the start.
100%. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of Blitzcranks just flash level 1, so they have Hex Flash.
Makes sense.
Yep, you're welcome for that tidbit. Caedrel dropped in mid by Leader. Will be able to get all of these plates for himself, and look at the rest of Astralis threatening the dive. Nuke reads the play though. Will back away to safety as more gold is funneled into Leader. Astralis in a commanding position after what has been a difficult weekend for them. Find themselves with a potential great win over BDS, a team that, again, coming into the season, high expectations for after their performance in spring.
JeongHoon, there's the Hex Flash, lands the hook. Static build going down as well, but Labrov able to survive for such a long time. Stunned up, look at the healing coming out from the cozy campfire. Labrov walks out of it, Pop Blossom finds 2. Leader locked up by Nuke. And you just can't kill off Milio, it seems. 1-1-3 and JeongHoon chased out by Crownie. Finn catching the mid-wave in the end. It's a 1-0 in favor of BDS.
Somehow Labrov ended up with more HP than Leader did.
Welcome to Milio.
Wow. It looks like the Dragon's still going to go the way of Astralis as plates will be secured by Adam, but these are the type of comeback plays that BDS need to make. This is also why Gragas can be quite obnoxious for the Yasuo. We can see the amount of CC that gets thrown down onto Leader. Let's look back at this fight. We'll break it down. The Hex Flash over the wall. Good hook comes down onto Labrov. The knock-up into ulti means that Leader quickly follows up. Then the body block into the root from Crownie. The wind wall then comes out. And then just the shielding and the healing. Leader tries to flash in to get the execute, but it's not enough. And then the flash in from Nuke to finish off Leader after he had nothing left. Great turnaround from BDS. But yeah, Milio does things. Admittedly, though, a lot of help provided by Sheo and Crownie with their additional CC on the side.
Oh, 100%. And I think part of it was Leader went for the execute with the last breath with the ultimate and then couldn't hit the Milio anymore. And at that point, it's the Sejuani and the Blitzcrank trying to work their way through that health bar. Isn't the easiest. Last breath will hook. It will hit. The hook will hit as well. And the lockdown onto Sheo means that Astralis get their 7th on the board. Finn trading with Adam here in the top lane. And Adam is not on the right side of that one. It's roast alligator for dinner. As Astralis find 2 on the map, and the brief moments where it looked like BDS may have had an avenue back into the game are starting to fall apart. JeongHoon looking for another hook. It lands. Labrov pulled back, TP behind, but Labrov's not going to escape this time. Kobbe takes him out. Nuke looking for that TP position. Has the Pop Blossom, the ultimate available, but can't get close enough to pull the trigger.
But they rotate over to mid-medic, and they're looking to secure that objective as Finn continues to get himself more plates on top. No, they stand corrected. The resets will actually come through from Astralis. But overall, they continue to find picks on the map. Dragon spawning in about 3 minutes' time as they have 2 to their name. Astralis continuing their proactivity. I think this is really where we saw them at their best, right? Where they were constantly looking for these fights, these scraps in spring. We haven't really seen them kind of get going in either of their games so far this split, but they've had a fantastic early game. Couple blunders here and there, but overall still in a great position. Deathless for Kobbe. Finn, really the biggest threat on the side of Astralis right now. The fact that he cannot be stopped in a side lane is something the BDS are going to have to find some way to address.
Just look at how far the BDS players are behind Astralis right now. Leader and Finn both at 6k, Crownie 600 gold behind that, and then after that, 1.8k before you get down to Adam and Nuke. Well, very much in the hole. It's all on Crownie's shoulders, you have to feel, for BDS from this position, and Astralis has been so good at just disrupting the play. Getting Crownie out of position, looking for the hooks, looking for the Glacial Prison from 1-1-3. At some point, you only have so many cleanses at the moment. Crownie running the Ghost only has the Breath of Life from the Milio, who's gonna knock back leader. JeongHoon looking for a hook once again. This is all about pressure.
Pings on the mid tier 1. Looks like they want to try and secure that objective, knowing that 2 members are bot. They're just waiting for the next wave. Of course, Nuke does have decent wave clear, but with little itemization, it's not going to be enough.
I think as well, you've got the Herald coming up in a couple of seconds. Get mid prio. You can take the tower, you can then play for the Herald. You can see Finn and 113 already moving towards it, Vedi. And then you can use that Herald to crack bot, cracks mid tier 2. Just opens up the map so much for Astralis, and that's where they'll thrive. One of the difficulties with Blitzcrank, and one of the struggles you might find if you play him in solo queue, is if you do start to fall behind, you don't have vision pockets anymore. The enemy can just place deep vision, spot you out as you move around. It becomes a lot harder for you to find these hooks, to find these engages. But when you're the team on the front foot, you can then place that deep vision, and it becomes a lot easier to track the enemy and then find hooks that pull them out of position.
Single hook has won teams games before. Could be the difference maker. Astralis continuing to pressure all across the board. They secure that tier 1. The reset's now coming through. Itemization looking very good for Astralis. Unfortunately for Nuke, yet to complete his first item. We'll see if Astralis can maintain this performance. We've already seen 2 big throws today.
Yeah.
Within the same game.
Yeah, and yesterday we saw a couple as well.
Oh, this weekend has been a lot of throws. So Astralis, perhaps they can buck the trend. 5.5k gold lead for now. Next objective will be this dragon. 40 seconds on the spawn. They have pretty good vision. They have that 1 ward at the entrance. They have the control ward in the bot river. But now they will begin to invest in a little bit more. They need to get that bot wave pushed in and potentially use that Herald bot. You talked about it earlier, Medic. Just securing that final outer tower, giving you a little bit more control and ability to move into the enemy jungle. As I say that, they move in right now. JeongHoon looks for a bit of a pick onto Crownie. Won't be able to find it though. And Finn with no TP, of course, joins the fray, creates the numbers advantage. And this will be the objective secured. Astralis may even choose to drop the Herald now, create this extra point of pressure. Keep Finn mid to keep the wave pushed in. And Leader has the TP. So right now, just ahead of the spawn of the dragon, they want to get as much as they can, cause as much damage as possible.
Hook onto Adam, pulls him back, locks him up, roots him. Can't quite get the damage down. Moonlight Vigil was used, and that's good Infernum damage as well. Onto Kobbe and JeongHoon. But the Riptide charges in, doesn't quite crack the tier 2. Sheo gets a ward in the back of the pit.
They actually commit Leader to top.
He's got the TP.
Yep. I'm surprised that they care about trying to keep this tower alive.
I mean, it might just be about killing Nuke instead. TP in. And as soon as you see this, you know you have the dragon.
Yep. Adam committing the ultimate as well. This will be a tower traded. Wait, the steal potential from Sheo. Did they see him?
I don't think they did. It's not warded by them. You didn't see him get onto that blast cone if he went round through the red buff. And with the way they're playing, I don't think they know right now, Vedi. We thought Neeko would be the one hiding, but 113 still secures it. Sheo doing his best Neeko impression. I'm just a blade of grass, guys. It's fine. A good smite from 113. Make sure that he gets the dragon there. And these minions won't be enough to take down this tower. Adam will slice through them, kill them off.
So, where are we at game state-wise? Well,
Astralis are flipping winning, Vedius.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, really good spot.
But this game is also about side lanes. Finn doesn't have TP, which does make playing on side lanes a little bit harder.
True.
But you have options. You are typically playing a 4-1, which means that you either send the Rumble off to a side lane, and then you kind of play through him as 113 in a bit of danger.
It's really tanky though, and with Finn coming across, there's no equalizer here though. Glacial Prison does go wide as Crownie dodges to the side of it, but Finn will be able to, so 113 will be able to walk out. Does mean they lose the Rift Scuttler. Yeah,
so your options for Astralis are you either play a 1-4, where you kind of get pressure in one lane and then translate over to the TP-less top laner. Alternatively, you can kind of play this current 1-1-3 setup that they've chosen to go for, where you know that Leader has the TP. With your 3-man strong unit, that you then use the 3 members to collapse into the 4, you kind of create this 1-4 cross-map situation, and then you can then use the TP to then join the fray that's happening on the other side of the map. Alternatively, you just use Finn to catch waves on side and then bring him to join your core 3. Ooh, as the hook doesn't quite connect. And it looks like that's what they've decided to do. So they get that initial pressure in mid, they then bring Finn from top down to catch this wave in mid, and then they'll start pressuring on the split pusher, which is Leader, which I think makes the most sense, because right now Leader is the most threatening in the isolated 1v1. He continues to scale, and he wants to get as much gold. You can see a 3k gold gap between him and Luke right now in the mid lane.
Yeah, Astralis is doing such a good job of playing the map, making sure they are taking incremental advantages. You can't always do things in a massive flurry. You don't always get a 5v5 team fight that you can then take 3 or 4 towers off. Instead, getting your waves in the correct position, making sure that you have backup if needed, and slowly taking these turrets away is exactly what the Doctor ordered for Astralis. 30 seconds now on the Baron. You can see there's a little bit of vision for Team BDS around it, but JeongHoon is going to try to start to deny that. With the sweeper changes, a little bit trickier for the Blitzcrank to make sure they have total vision denial. That hook still connects. A little bit of extra extension on that, it feels, as JeongHoon finds the kill. Milio will fall, and now Finn is chasing Sheo in. Finn dodges away from the car. Sheo just trying to do what he can, but he's locked up once again. Another hook from Astralis. And Finn with the fancy feet wasn't knocked back. And now with the jungler and support down, you have to feel Astralis will go towards the Baron.
Yeah, perfect timing for Astralis. They found the pick just as the Baron spawns, which means that 20 minutes in, Astralis is looking to snowball this game out of control. Adam in a position to contest. Oh, connects.
Another hook from JeongHoon! This guy just doesn't miss. He's the king of the fishes. He's landing all his hooks. I'm pretty sure we'll see Peter Pan trying to give his hand to an alligator in a second as leader rips Nuke to pieces. JeongHoon gets it. One of the most fed members on his team now, an Everfrost complete for the Blitzcrank. And I thought we saw JDG with the god hand, but it turns out JeongHoon had it all along.
Yep, he's been landing hook after hook, specifically onto Labrov, so it seems he has an issue with Milio players.
We all do, Vedi.
Great hook connects. He gets knocked back, but that doesn't suddenly decrease the range of the hook.
It's the iBlitz skin, and he paid for the extra DLC to extend it out of there. It's like, oh yeah, I have the premium package.
I mean, it was a good hook from Labrov for sure. Sheo trying to get something back here. Bit of an overextension. Another hook connects, which results in the second pick. Very straightforward play. Back-to-back hooks result in the Baron. And, I mean, Crownie should be aware. But, either way, gets hooked up once more.
Oh, here we go. JeongHoon.
No, he's not going to throw it out. He's a patient man. He waits for the right target. It's like spear fishing, you know? You gotta wait. You gotta wait for the right moment for your fish to walk in range. It's not about taking the bait.
No, wait. Do you want to just go through that sentence one last time?
Yeah, it's spear fishing.
It's about waiting for the right moment for the fish to what?
Come in range.
You said walk into range, which is, you're killing a moment of evolution there, Benny. If you were there, Homo sapiens would never have existed. As Nuke goes in, 113 distracts them. Finn able to survive with the flash, and leader's TP just backs up his teammate. 15 seconds on the ocean. Drake.
All right, so as this Drake is locked down, I'm just saying there's a perspective that you could argue the fish can walk, they just do it underwater.
Don't do this to me
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like
we almost got through this entire cast without me and you like having a,
you know, I'm just saying,
a lover's quarrel,
I'm just saying. It's all about perspective, you know? It's about the spirit of the word, you know what I mean?
Yes, if the fish was Jesus and it could walk on walkers, Nuke
nice pick
then yes, the fish could walk, okay?
Nice pick. Adam trying to get something on the cross map. His leader secures the dragon. The bot inhibitor tower will be secured.
And probably the inhibitor.
Likely the inhibitor to follow as Kobbe secures that mid tower as well. The base is falling apart. Adam will now recall. But I think that BDS, there's little that they can do. Leader doesn't have TP though, so it looks like Astralis, they're going to take their time. They don't want to end just yet. 25 seconds left on the Baron. The end of the game not confirmed just yet. QSS's for both Leader and Kobbe here, just for that added measure of security.
When you're this far ahead, you don't really need the extra damage item. Get the QSS, make sure you can't be caught out or locked down at the start of the fight. You can't actually QSS the initial part of the Neeko because it's a knockup,
right.
But you can QSS away from a Ruthless Predator stun or a Graviton route.
It's crazy to think that this game was basically determined by a level 1 invade. And then
it didn't go the way that we thought.
Yeah, the fact that Leader got a good trade onto Nuke and then Adam spent so much time trying to save him to only then lose out on a trade against Leader as well, just snowballed this game out of control. Astralis played around that small advantage so well, and they've ballooned it into a 10k gold lead. They now
24 minutes.
Continue their siege onto the top tier 2. They need to play this patiently. Maybe try and find a hook with JeongHoon, but they know that with super minions barreling down mid and bot, there's no need for them to overforce.
Astralis have just played this one to perfection, and BDS, often it seemed a little bit desperate from them in the way they've tried to react. They've throwing a lot of bodies at the problem, and it hasn't paid off. Adam looking for a flank here is spotted on a control ward. The wave now connects as Astralis push in. Super minions double in the bottom lane, and mid lane one still a little bit away from getting towards the Nexus, but Astralis will take one of only 4 remaining towers on the map. 8-1 in their favor, 12,000 gold ahead. The wave has been cleared out. Next wave probably 25 seconds away or so. There will be a little while before Astralis can make this two-pronged attack work once again.
They just want to make sure they escort these super minions into the base, just so that it splits Crownie's focus, the primary wave clear.
There's the equalizer.
Just to zone them away from the tower, make it easier to secure this objective, and that's exactly what it'll do. Adam forced back as well, the Ghost prop.
Nuke goes in, triple knockup. They look for JeongHoon, but he's got a stopwatch, and now Astralis turn the damage back around. They lock up Crownie. Adam trying to go into the backline leader, dashing away, dancing away. The stun on Adam as he flashes to the safety of his Nexus towers, but how safe will they be, and for how long will they survive? Kobbe pushing forward, the third inhibitor will fall, 113 tanking up the Nexus towers, and all of BDS can only watch as from their fountain, they see their Nexus fall. Astralis demolish BDS.
They get themselves their first win of summer, and against an opponent that many expected to come in strong in summer. They defied the meta, they didn't prioritize the Yuumi, they let the Milio through, they gave away the Neeko, and they said, we have an answer to it. And of course, in traditional leader fashion, he said, I believe in my picks and I believe that they can do work, and he did some work at level 1, out-trading both Nuke and Adam to basically snowball the game to perfection. Huge props to the top side, 113 and Finn, back-to-back dives, executed flawlessly onto Adam. The bot lane 2v2s, back and forth trades, Crownie doing what he can to keep BDS alive, but it wasn't enough. The top side was just too much in the favor of Astralis, and they just snowballed from start to finish. Very well played from Astralis, and a much needed win to round out week 1.
Oh, definitely. We talked about it a little bit in the last game. Getting a win in the first week of the split just sets you up so much better for the rest of it. Well played, leader.
Well played, well played.
Sets you up so much better for the rest of it, because we are a third of the way through for these teams. They need to be able to keep those winning ways going if they're going to make it into playoffs. It is our top 8, of course, and I think there are some teams at the moment that are looking like they might end up in that 9th, 10th spot, but you've got to get those wins on the board if you're going to be able to make it through. And if you do make it through, that's when you actually start getting a chance to make it to our season finals. The player of the game at LEC on Twitter are Finn113 and JeongHoon. Give it to the Blitz, man. Just always.
Yeah,
Finn actually had a crazy good performance, but JeongHoon hitting those 3 hooks in a row that gave them 2 kills and then the Baron. I mean,
it's a tough one. Like, it really was a great team effort all across the board. I think that there's a lot of conversation to be had about leaders' impact along with the top side of the map.
Did he hook anyone?
Were fantastic as well, for sure. Make sure you go over to Twitter and vote. Impressive stuff from Astralis. We'll see how they continue to adapt in an ever-changing meta. Europe is pretty good at innovating, so we'll see. We will be on 13-11 for the next 2 weeks as well, but don't be surprised to continue to see some pretty interesting stuff as the teams evolve.
We're going to hand it over to Trouble, who is standing by with the leader. Blitzcrank.
Thank you very much, Medic. Leader, congratulations on a much-needed victory right here. You guys came in 0-2 on the weekend. Grabbing that first victory is so important. You guys are tied with SK on points. They grabbed their first victory, you did too. Is that a relief for the team?
I mean, it's nice to get our first win of the split. Would be a bit sad to end 0-3 on the first week when there's only 3 weeks. But for now, we're just trying to survive, trying to get used to play on stage again, because right now we are playing very bad individually, hands-wise and brain-wise, I would say. But it's slowly coming together, as it showed in the 3rd game now.
What do you think is holding you back as a team?
I think the meta is not really favoring us right now. Our strengths as each individual player is getting, how do I say it, like shadowed over by how the meta is and what champions need from especially support and jungle role. And I think we are taking some time to adapt.
All right, and talking about champions, how you're adapting, guys, you guys absolutely cooked in draft today. If we can pop it up on the screen again, we were looking over on blue side and we're like, how are these guys getting Aphelios and Milio and Neeko while you guys prioritized your Yasuo together with the Sejuani? Talk to me a little bit about the picks that you bring, even though the meta evolves into different places.
I think there are some counters to Neeko, but obviously you have to go deep into the rabbit hole to actually find them. Luckily, I was a one-trick of Yasuo, and Yasuo is actually good into it. But the thing with the mid-lane champions of the Melees are usually the jungle champs. So it's just the jungle champs that makes it struggling to play, I would say. But you just need to find the correct counters, I would say.
Absolutely, and people love seeing you playing the Zeds, the Yasuos, the Yones. How viable do you think they are currently in the league?
I think compared to the last split where I was showing other champions, now it's less viable. But obviously some other champions are showing up. Like I think Yasuo is stronger now because of Gale Force. So that champion went up a little bit more. But obviously the other ones went down with how the lethality items changed as well. But we will still have to experiment and see.
And we can't wait to see what you guys experiment with. Now, of course, you have Vitality, Mad, and G2 next week. Quite a tough week for you guys. What are your expectations going into it?
I think right now, actually, Europe is playing really bad. I think every single LEC game, everyone is doing so many silly mistakes, like individually. It's actually disgusting to watch, I would say. Obviously, us as well, we are really disgusting as well. But I think that the team that shows up less disgusting on the day is going to win, honestly.
And the team that capitalized on mistakes real quickly, like you did, guys. Again, congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
It was very decisive. We loved seeing the Yasuo as well. And as for you, stay tuned, because we will be back for our next game. It's going to be Mad versus Koi.
They have flashes available.
1-1-3's out. Nuke flashes for it. Tangle bombs, not enough, and now Nuke fall. It's all gone to pieces.
Look. Yeah.
Aphelios will be first.
Yeah. Go fast.
Aphelios coming.
Yeah. I think we kill. He get it. Nice, guys.
The Blitzcrank to make sure they have total vision. Denial, that hook still connects. A little bit of extra extension on that end.
Adam in a position to contest. Oh,
JeongHoon! This guy just doesn't